hello, hello.
Hi there, hi there, hello there. Oh, jeez. Wait. Okay.
Give me space.
We have Will Conrad is guest here.
Yeah, I need to be here.
This is my podcast.
Come on, get out, man.
Go get your own damn screen. Jeez.
Oh, welcome to another episode of Glasshouse Presents Throwing Stones. There's a little bit of infighting going on here.
So that is the wonderful Will Conrad. Will, of course, has been in the comic book biz since I think 1997. We talked a bit about his career in a previous podcast. He's drawn Superman and a whole host of other characters for Marvel, DC, and elsewhere. And he and I went to see Superman yesterday, so I guess now's the time to talk about it. We made it so a couple of weeks since it came out, so wanted to make sure people had enough time to see it because this is going to be all about the spoilers.
Yes.
All right, Will, come on in. There you are.
Ah, yeah, you kicked me out of your screen, you rascal. Hello, everybody. I should be sitting on that chair, not him. How you guys doing?
Get your own damn podcast. But yeah. So
I'd rather be on this one.
Yeah, well, you look good no matter what you're on. So how was your trip from Krypton?
Hello.
Can you hear us?
There you are.
I couldn't hear you
for some reason.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys. Can you guys hear me?
Cool.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the video is a little delayed, but
not quite sure why. Okay, so
we are too fast.
Yeah. So as I said, we went to see Superman. I think all three of us have seen it now, and I hope everybody watching this. Sorry about the technical difficulties of getting started late, but it was a red sun solar flare or something like that.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So the new Superman movie, much different from the Snyderverse, Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman and the Justice League's both attempts. But my first impression was that it was wonderful to be dropped in the middle of a story taking place in Metropolis, not having to relive Superman's origin yet again. And
yes.
So we were smack dab in the middle of a story. So
yeah, I think that by now everybody knows Superman's origin story, front to back, so there's no need to tell that story yet again.
I was really surprised, and I didn't know that Bradley Cooper was actually playing Jor-El.
So and neither did I.
Yeah, so that was a pleasant surprise. I thought, oh, that's kind of a cool casting. I like that. So.
Well, it's because he didn't sound like Rocket Raccoon. So yeah, so we drop in the middle of a story, and Superman seems defeated. Our first shot of him is he's not doing too well, but we immediately come into the world of seeing, well, basically Kryptonian technology, because he's got robots he's created, and the whole Fortress of Solitude, more in the way of the recent comics with the big logo like this on the front of the, so all this stuff. It was really a comic book movie. They weren't afraid of all the trappings of doing it as a comic book. Okay, we're big, we're exciting, we're full color. We're
Right.
not painting, we're not airbrushing muscles onto a really dark blue costume.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
unapologetically a comic book movie, and
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah, it had all the Superman tropes. Yeah, all the trappings, like you said, and I think Crypto kind of stole the show.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
I have to agree.
yeah.
Obviously, there are things, you know, it's not all flowers. There are things that I'm not a lot into on the movie, but overall, just the fact that they, made it like a a real Superman movie, it is a great thing. Uh, I always thought that people keep, going backwards and look for Zack Snyder stuff. I think those were way too dark for a Superman movie.
Yeah,
I never felt like the Man of Steel and the other movies were representative of the Superman that we came to know and love from comics. And obviously, I mean, that's inevitable. We always have that comparison with the Christopher Reeve Superman. So in that regard, I think the movie is very successful, and in all is a fun movie to watch.
It is,
yeah.
and
Well, go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say, I think this is closer in tone to the Brandon Routh Superman.
In a way, but the Brandon Routh Superman Returns was odd to me. This whole, okay, when did Lois get pregnant with her kid? Does she even remember? Because in Superman 2, he took her memory away after they had done the deeds, which to me is a horrible thing if she's had a kid as a result of that.
Right.
And not addressing it makes it seem like Superman was a real creep there. And,
Well, yeah, I mean,
and
could have been super
Yeah.
speed.
yeah, but I mean, he did the deed with Lois in Superman 2, and if this is a direct sequel to that, when she says that her current boyfriend there is the father, does she believe that? If she doesn't remember. So there were all kinds of problems like that, and Superman sort of being a peeping Tom on her life, and just there was so much about it that just gave me kind of jitters about it. And when I rewatched it more recently, it's like, okay, my feelings now are reinforced. It's even more than I had remembered it. But there's none of that going into this.
No, there's not.
This, I absolutely loved that as soon as Superman got into a crowd, kids are running up, grabbing his leg, hugging him. That's the Superman we wanted.
Right.
Somebody that was absolutely approachable. It's like the one you're going to run to when you need someone, and the one kids are going to be happy with. That was never Henry Cavill's Superman. He never,
Yeah.
because of the scripts, the actor never had the opportunity to portray that kind of character.
Right.
Will and I were talking yesterday that the ending of the Black Adam movie, where Henry Cavill finally shows up, has the damn spit curl where it's supposed to be, is brightly lit, the costume is the right shade of blue. He doesn't look angry for a change. It's like, okay, finally, we were
Yeah,
going to get Henry Cavill to play.
even
Right.
his
Yeah.
expression is light, uh, and that's a shame because just defending Henry Cavill, I think visually he would be a very great Superman. Again, I'm not trying to compare him to Christopher Reeve because for me that's the ultimate visual representation, but he would be a very good Superman. But he never had the chance to even try to act like Superman because the whole movie the whole movies that he's in, they are way too dark, and not only dark in terms of colors and ambience, but the script is very dark. The way they wrote Superman is very dark, and again,
Hmm.
as Dave said, if I saw Superman in the Zack Snyder's Superman around, I would run away from him because I know there would be destruction and death following him.
Right.
And Superman on comics and the Christopher Reeve Superman, it's obviously the opposite. Everybody loves Superman. Everybody runs to Superman. They want to be around Superman, and that's what this movie brings back. And obviously, and now it's a spoiler. The moment that they are fighting that big monster, uh, Superman is Superman almost don't fight the monster itself. He's around saving people and make sure that nobody gets hurt. So that's great on the movie. That's one of
Yeah.
the things that
Yes.
I like.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Superman saved the squirrel, for heaven's sake. Yeah.
Yeah. The the
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
the Zack Snyder Superman was very much a dark alien god, almost very godlike, and the corn sweat Superman is very much somebody said that this movie is kind of like Bruce Timm, the Bruce Timm Superman cartoon in live action, and I
Yeah.
very much agree with that because
Yes.
he's
Yes.
Yes.
it, they made a
Yeah, I agree.
point they made a point of him trying to minimize collateral damage and showing that.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Now
I
that being said, okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Mr. Old Kent, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is one of the things that me and Dave were talking about, and I'm sorry to say that, but I hated, you know, his father way of behaving on the Zack Snyder movies,
Yeah,
and
Kevin
they
Costner's.
revamp it. Oh my lord! I mean, I keep remembering because I mean, besides all of his power, everything that all of the things that Superman can do, I think that his greatest power and gift is obviously his humanity. And on the Zack Snyder movies, uh, his father, who should, I mean, his earthling father, he should be the one who gives him that humanity, and it's the opposite in the Zack Snyder movies because his father keeps okay, and he asks, "Oh, should I let them die? Yeah, maybe." And that ridiculous scene with the hurricane when his father, okay, just let signs him to let him die. Oh Lord, I hated that. And the only moment on this new movie where his father speaks, we can see where Superman's humanity comes from.
Mhm.
So that to me was really, really good.
The Kents always need to be uh, uh, Kal-El's emotional or moral core.
Yes.
He learns humanity from the Kents. If he had been adopted by a family of people who were pricks, then he may have turned out much different. But he Kansas farm boy, grew up with very caring, helpful parents. Probably lived a life as a kid where you do your farm work, and if your neighbor needs help, you help your neighbor. They help you when it's time to deal with the crops and all that. I have a friend, Howard Feltman, who lives out on a farm, and he tells me about his planting and harvesting and all that. So I hear about that kind of life and can imagine Clark growing up in that kind of environment. So of course he's going to understand nature. He's going to understand humanity because that is the nurturing environment that he grows up in. Even though this movie does the Kryptonian reveal that his parents expected him to come here to rule, all right, that's a little twist, but that twist has been in various forms in other versions told of Superman before. And I've heard people over the past week complaining about that aspect. Oh my God, it's so terrible. To me, it wasn't. It showed even further that it was the Kent's nurturing, his learning, this ultimate alien learning to be human and learning to be the best of humanity. So it takes an alien to really understand what the best of humanity is, and show it to the world.
Exactly.
And I thought that was a wonderful touch.
It was, and I like that they played Jonathan Kent almost like a simpleton. Did you notice that? Like very, very simple.
Yeah.
And then all of a
Yes.
sudden he hits you with that wisdom. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's great, that's awesome. That's where Clark gets his moral center from.
Yeah.
And as far as Jor-El, was it ever really defined that was the actual message and it wasn't tampered with by Luther?
Well, they had several people, including Mr. Terrific, who was saying he knows the people that analyze the message, and they know what they're doing, so there was no mistake.
Okay.
But
Yes.
he himself never confirmed that the message was real. He said, I know the people. So this gives an opening for many interpretations. Just to give you an example, he said, I know the people, who made the claim that it's real, but he doesn't know what are the circumstances that the people were in when they made that claim. See the
Luther could have
difference?
pressured them. Yeah.
Yes.
So this
that's
is something.
I'm not saying that the message or that they are going to say that the message was fake. That's not it. What I'm saying is that this is opening for new possibilities. But the interesting thing about this is, even if it's, and especially if that's what Jor-El said, that to me is a good thing. Not that they are making Jor-El a bad guy. No, I mean, if you think about it, he's not being an evil person. He's thinking about his people, his DNA, and if you consider all of the colonization in the world, that's what usually happens. The more sophisticated, the more advanced civilization is always thinking that it's a good thing to colonize,
Yeah.
less advanced civilizations. So if we think about him as a very, very advanced alien, in his
Yeah.
mind, he may be doing humanity a favor. Okay, let's evolve humanity and make like Superman have his harem and spread his DNA to humanity. That's one point. And the other thing here is that's great because then I mean, all of the goodness that Superman has, in part, is because of what he thought his original parents were saying, because he could not hear the rest of the message, but mostly it's because of what he learned from his human parents. So the foster parents, they had a very strong moral base
Mm.
uh, in Superman's character development. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to talk for a minute about, we're saying all the positive things. I want to talk for a minute about the things that uh, I didn't think were uh, quite right. One of the problems that I've had with the Superman movies, all of them across the decades, is they're all so damn repetitive. Yeah, they had Zod in Superman 2, and they brought back Zod in the Snyderverse and so forth, and carried him over into Flash and all that stuff. All right, but it's like they can't seem to get away from Lex Luthor was in Superman the movie. He was in Superman 2. He was in Superman 4. He was in the Snyderverse stories. He's in this one. Can't they have another villain beyond Luthor
Brainiac.
or General? Yeah, it's a. I've been waiting for a good Superman Brainiac movie. I've been
Yeah.
waiting for a bottled city of Candor movie. Just all these. Superman has what, an 80-year history or whatever of stories, and they're all stuck in this little pocket. I mean, okay, let's look at it. In the Christopher Reeve Superman, what was Lex Luthor after? Land. Great, fantastic. Superman Returns. Lex Luthor's back. What's he after? Land.
Land.
All right, so we get to this movie. Lex Luthor's back. What's he after again?
Land.
Land. It's like, come on, there's got to be another story that you can tell. Um, in the Christopher Reeve Superman, he saves a cat. Here, Superman saves a squirrel. Lex Luthor and Miss Tessmacher in Superman 2 go to the Fortress of Solitude. In this movie, they go to the Fortress of Solitude. They repeat so many elements. It's like, okay, we've done that so many times. Please give us something new.
Well, I did like the twist with this version of was it is it Tessmacher or Trenchmacher? It's Tessmacher, right?
Tessmacher.
Textmacher.
Yeah,
Yes.
Tessmacher.
and
Yeah.
because it wasn't actually her, they renamed her and they gave her a crush on Jimmy Olsen. So I kind of like that little twist there. I thought
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, what they did with it was nice, but it's just, why that character? Why not another character? You keep repeating the same elements when James Gunn had the freedom to do anything.
right.
And so that part of it's disappointing me. That said, none of it was awful. Everything was either pretty well done or really well done. I thought Will and I were having a discussion here before we came on. I had thought this Lex Luthor was the most ruthless of the versions.
Nope.
Will, you had a different view.
Kevin Spacey was the most cruel one, in my view. This guy was a little untethered, and he was, oh, I am angry. But Kevin Spacey's Lex Luthor, he was quiet and he was cruel. I remember that scene when he gets the shard of kryptonite and he
Yep.
shows it, and he embraces Superman like he's a friend, and he stabs him in the back and say, "Now fly." To me, that was one of the cruelest things I've ever seen Lex Luthor doing on the movies, because it showed how icy, cold-blooded Lex Luthor was, and it was visceral. It's not Lex Luthor sending somebody to kill Superman or arranging a plot. He used his hands, to stab Superman in the back. So I think Kevin Spacey was the cruelest, and more conniving Lex Luthor of them all. That's my point. Obviously the Christopher Reeve Lex Luthor, Gene Hackman, was more, likable Lex Luthor, because he was, always smiling and stuff. But I think that the remember the conversation that Kevin Spacey's Lex Luthor was having with Lois Lane when she was in the boat,
Yep.
and he started, to talk to her boy, and he started, having the idea that, oh, that may be Superman's kid, and with the kryptonite. Man, that was horrible. Can you imagine a kid, seeing that?
Yeah.
I mean, in that situation, man, that guy was really creepy, and it was very well played. The time that, oh, Kelly, can you hear? Wrong in the front of the
Right.
kid. Yeah,
Yep.
that he was very psychologically cruel. So that's my point of view.
I agree. I think Kevin Spacey killed that role. If it wasn't for the unfortunate events of the actual Kevin Spacey, I think he may have actually
No, we
even
are
come
talking
back.
about
So.
Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
getting
I
into
think
that.
I think he may have actually even come back because he killed that role. He really did. He was the best Lex Luthor by far, and I enjoyed Lex Luthor in this movie. But like you said, he was
me
more
too.
hands on,
Me too.
more cool. Yeah,
Me
Kevin
too.
Spacey was just amazing.
Right,
And I think that the other thing about the Kevin Spacey is, whether we like it or not, he was older, so he was more experienced as a Lex Luthor. This Lex Luthor is younger, so I mean, as dangerous as he is, we look at him, he's young. When you look at an older guy who have been through everything that the Kevin Spacey Lex Luthor have been through, I think it's even worse.
Right. Though I did enjoy, I thought that was rather brilliant. The scene where he's fighting Ultraman and Luthor is calling the shots. He's like, this, that,
Yeah.
and I
This
thought
is
that was
another
pretty
thing
brilliant.
but to be honest, that's something that I didn't like.
Okay.
And I will explain why. I like that they did that, but to me, this was a little flaw, one of the little flaws that I saw in Superman character. Okay, the Superman that they did on this movie, he was not stupid, but he was also not so bright. Come on, think about this. Who was giving instructions to Ultraman? Lex Luthor, right?
Lex. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As smart as Lex Luthor is, his reflexes are not, I mean, not even this close to Superman's reflexes.
I can see that.
Just think about the speeds that Superman can reach and how fast he has to react. So, and he, in the middle of the battle, he was giving instructions, and Superman couldn't counter those with his super reflexes. And worse than that, first of all, how was Lex Luthor following the fight? He has those drones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Those drones, to follow all of their action, they should have, infinite speed. That's the first thing. Second thing, he was giving instructions to Ultraman through that microphone in his chest. We all
Right.
saw that.
Yep.
Superman super hearing was listening to that. Wouldn't he figure out that he just had to reach and grab that microphone and destroy it?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I
That's
never thought
that's the
about that.
first thing that I can. That's the first thing that came to my mind. And obviously, when he saw all of those drones around, the first thing that he would think is, these drones, they are not, they are here for a reason. The first thing that he would do was, with his heat vision, just do turn his face around and destroy all of them in less than 1 second. That was the first thing that the Superman that I imagined would do. So I
Yep.
didn't like that part because of that. They made Superman way too dumb to think about what was going on in the battle.
And
I mean, that's what I think.
that might have the fight the way we saw it might have worked if this were Superman, Superman's first month,
Yeah.
but they made a point of saying that he's been out there as Superman for 3 years, has had
Yes.
various battles, so he would have learned all this as time went on. So it shouldn't still be a learning process for something that simple. Oh, there's these drones. Okay, burn him out. Here's the sound. He's got super hearing. Crunch. All right, take those things out in the first 7 seconds, and then it's a whole different story. But he didn't do that.
Exactly my
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And
So
and even worse, if he was listening to the instructions, he would know that the person who was giving the instructions was Lex Luthor, and he would be able to find where he was,
yep.
just
Yep.
following the
Right.
signal.
But
Yep.
and yeah, the reflex thing is a really important element here because in the time it would take Luther to say what the next thing was, it get transmitted there. Him,
It was already done.
yeah, it shouldn't have worked. It would have been better if that had been Luther's plan. It worked for a minute, and
So
Yeah.
then they take it out, and then some Luther has to do something else.
let me put this question forth.
Yeah.
So, do you think that because they made it a point for the robots to say, "But Superman, you're only at like 85%. You're not at full power. Why go?" And he already beat you. Do you think that's the reason why he wasn't catching
No,
all of that?
no, because the reason why he was at 85% is because he was defeated in the first place.
Right.
And the robots made a point to say, when you first fought Ultraman, you are in your 100% strength.
Right.
He was at 85% the second time he went back to the battle. So he was not getting into battle for the first time. It was the second time. So that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So
So,
yeah.
but we are being picky because we have to be.
They
Yeah.
have to. I think in every Superman movie, there has to be a balance of what do we make him godlike in, and what do we make him more human like in? How do we make him
Hmm.
flawed so we can actually have conflict and have a story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the most fascinating things about the story was, um, and people will talk about politics all the time, and folks are focusing on what they think are the political ramifications of this story. It's said by some that every accusation is a confession, and you look at at this story and all the terrible things that Lex Luthor says that Superman as an alien could do to us are the very things that Lex Luthor is doing. It's not Superman that created the interdimensional thing that's tearing up Metropolis. It's not Superman that has endangered all these people. It's not Superman that sent the little munchkin of a monster that terrorized the Metropolis National Park or whatever that place was where the big creature. It was Lex Luthor doing all these terrible things, endangering humanity for the sake of his own hubris or whatever. So I found that fascinating. It's like the more he demonized Superman for being terrible, the more terrible Lex Luthor became. And that struck me as a very, very human thing, to blame somebody else for what you're doing.
Right.
Or to imagine the other person as the villain so that you don't feel bad about what you are doing.
Yeah. And I think that's a key factor of egomaniacs, people that are, what's when someone, I can't even think of it, but like an egomaniac, they're always putting their faults on other people, blaming other people for their actions.
I think it goes beyond that. Historically, if we are talking about oppression and oppressive dictators, oppressive regimes, and everything, and when they want to wipe out another civilization, or they want to wipe out enemies, or ideological enemies, anything, the first thing that they do is, and this is true throughout history, is that they try to dehumanize them. They did it with the Jews. They when they Spanish, when they came to the Americas, they did it to the natives. They did it all the time. They do that. They say they are not humans. They are below humans. They did it to Africans. They every time they want to oppress a population or a person, the first thing that they say is he is not human. He is less than human. So it's okay if we murder them, or if we make them suffer, or if we slay them. And that's what Lex Luthor was doing to Superman.
Right.
He's an alien. He's not human. He's not one of us. So it's okay for us to destroy him. It's okay if we do something that we would not do to a human, because he's less than human. He doesn't belong. So this is common. I mean, as I said, through all the history, that's what we have seen. So
yeah, it is fascinating to me that the very guy that says, this alien with all these powers is terrible, shouldn't be here, should be dead, and the way he comes up with to defeat him is to clone the very thing he despises.
Yeah. But because it's not, he doesn't really despise it. He envies it.
Well, yeah.
I don't hate you for what you are. I hate you for what I am, what you are that I am not. And then we come to another thing. So he did one clone of Superman. Why not doing 2 or 3 or 4? He
So
had the resources.
they never they never touched upon how he cloned Superman. So I'm
No, he just
wondering.
mentioned, yeah. He just mentioned that he found a hair, a Superman
Oh,
hair
okay,
in
that's
one of
right.
the
That's
scenes.
right.
Yeah, he mentions it. So he has the resources. He can
Right.
do more than one.
And he may have had more. We just didn't
Yeah,
see them on
yeah,
screen. But
yeah.
can we talk about Easter eggs? Because I think this movie had quite a few Easter eggs in it.
Good, because I'm
Um,
Yeah,
hungry. No,
agree.
wait. Go ahead.
um, so I have to know if you guys thought the same thing I did when the Justice friends are
Gang,
fighting.
gang, gang.
Yeah, the Justice Gang are fighting outside, and he's like, "Oh, it's just an interdimensional imp. Don't they can handle it." What's the first thing you thought of when you said that?
I actually liked that because it showed me that Superman immediately sized up the situation, saw there were other heroes there, and he doesn't have to be there for everything.
To
Uh,
me, the first time that the little creature came out, I saw the what the name? The Disney character,
oh yeah,
the
Stitch.
Stitch. Yeah, I
Ah,
saw
yeah,
that.
Right,
Hey, that's Stitch.
but Mike thought the same thing I did when he said dimensional imp. The first thing I thought was Mr. Mixelpidalic.
yeah.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah, good one, good one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for a brief second, that went through my head too. Interdimensional him, of course, but it's that big
Well,
glowing thing.
as we know, there's all kinds of interdimensional imps that have plagued Earth. Like there's Bat. Well, the two most famous are Mr. Mixelpidalic and Batmite.
Yeah,
But so that made me think that there might be some opening for a Mr.
yeah,
Mixelpidalic.
yeah, and
yeah, yeah.
they could go so many directions with that. But okay, Easter eggs. Continue.
Um, so I feel as though, and I'm not sure about the comics history, but uh, Kara is directly kind of linked to the bottled city of Kandor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and in the comics, so I think
Well,
Kara being
what? Kara is actually from Argo City.
okay, so it was just the movie that she was from Kandor, right?
I don't even
Or was it
remember.
one of the series? Yeah,
Yeah.
there was one version of her where she was from Kandor.
Okay.
Okay,
Um,
so that's why. And I thought maybe that might be opening up, something for the city of Kandor. Um,
anything's possible. They can go in any direction. As I said, I wasn't thrilled that they retread so many things that we've already seen a version of in these Superman movies, but they can go anywhere from here.
right.
Yeah.
And
Hey, but there is another thing that I noticed on the movie. I mean, first time it happened, and I think it was kind of a reprise. I don't know when they opened that rift, that it was going through the ocean to Metropolis. It was exactly the same thing that happened on Superman Returns.
Mm-hmm.
That where when that stuff started growing, Superman saw the thing going to Metropolis the same way. Said, yeah, kind of looks similar to
yeah,
me.
as I said, retreading the previous movies. Let's go in a new direction here. But
Yeah.
by the way, how does Will know so much about Superman lore? I had to show this.
Ah, yeah. You shouldn't. It was it was a secret, man.
Not anymore, friend. Not anymore.
That's funny. So I'm curious, has there, because I think this would be a kind of a cool twist on an elsewhere story. Has there ever been a version in the comics where like um Superman or Cal ended up with like the Luthers, and Luther ended up with like the Kents.
I don't
So there was
remember
a
that ever being done.
was it that was never done? I don't know. I think that'd be kind of an interesting little
Let me call
twist.
DC. Let's see what we can do.
Superman raised by the Luthors to be
Yeah,
ruthless.
they could create like an alternate universe where Superman's starship, when he was coming to Earth, instead of going into the Kent household, he would go to the Luthor's household. He could even be a stepbrother for Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
Can you
that I
imagine
think.
that?
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of a cool little twist. Mike, of course, says no. Absolutely not.
Man, oh man, yeah, that would be a very short story. I mean, what can the world do against a tyrannical Superman? There's
Well, it'd be
nothing,
kind of
not
a
much they can do.
like Lex would have the family values, and Lex would only be human, but he would somehow save the city and turn Superman with his humanity. I don't know.
Maybe, or maybe he would be, Superman would be the you know the main brother. I mean, Lex Luthor would be envy of his step brother, and he may even work with the world to prevent Superman taking over.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
a good idea too.
That may
Yeah,
be a
I like
yeah,
that.
that may be a good idea. So I hate my step brother, and he would work, with humanity, not because he's a good guy, but because he hates his step brother, and he would work to prevent Superman from taking over. So that could be a good idea.
You guys use your connections, get a hold of DC.
Yeah. All right, let's talk for a bit about Nathan Fillion's Green Lantern. Uh,
Oh
uh,
boy, yeah,
I love that version of the character from beginning to end. Of course, Nathan Fillion seems to be able to do no wrong. Uh, the picking the
yeah. I
silliest
kind of
or
like the
rudest ways of using the power ring.
Mm-hmm. And they somehow
yeah.
managed to make his hair even worse than the comics.
Don't talk about his hair. Remember what he said. Oh, girls love it.
Oh,
Man, it
but,
was so funny. And I saw people complaining about the character. Say, "Oh, that's not how a Green Lantern is." And yeah, it is. He's not only a Green Lantern; he's the worst Green Lantern of them all. So, yeah, I think it was perfect.
Yeah, yeah, he played that to a T. And apparently, there's going to be a Mister Terrific spinoff movie because he did such a good job in that role. And there's going to be
Yeah, I
a
agree.
Jimmy Olsen spinoff, I heard. So
yeah, it's going
Hey,
to be
hey,
a
hey. So,
limited run
so you
series.
you were talking about the Green Lantern. Let's talk about Jimmy Olsen having some, huh?
Yeah,
Jimmy Olsen, my friend. Who knew?
yeah. I get redheads are in for
I
a
mean,
lot of people, but
yeah, even the cute interns were looking at him and wow, man, the guy has juice.
yeah, yeah, he's got some machismo.
yeah, it was nice to see. It, it's nice to see us geeky characters getting not you, Will, because you're too damn good
Oh,
looking.
shut up.
But uh, but geeky characters like me getting some. Okay, I got one in real life, but I got really really lucky. You know,
Yeah.
uh, to be married to Bonsai Girl is something. But it was great to see Jimmy Olsen being fawned over by not only the interns but Miss Tessmacher. I found it
Yes.
fascinating when one of the characters said, how are you getting, referring to Miss Tessmacher, how are you getting somebody interested in you that's that hot? And he kind of reacted like, she's hot? It's like,
Yeah.
I thought that was
Well,
fascinating.
you and
And
Jimmy
that,
Olsen stand alone.
yes, I agree. So that's another thing that I found very interesting on the story is that on the first versions of Miss Texmacher, she's smart. And in the beginning of the movie, they painted this new Miss Texmacher as dumb and superficial. And at the end of the movie, they found out that she was brilliant because she was sending, pictures of herself to Jimmy, but she was putting a lot of information on the background.
Hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So she was not stupid at all.
No, I thought that was a nice touch
Yeah, me too.
as well. Yeah, yeah. The supporting cast in this movie was fantastic. I I thought I thought the relationship between Clark and Lois was a little too adversarial for my taste. I don't know. How about you
You know,
guys?
I kind of like that because to me it seemed. How can I explain? First of all, I think that part of it was on purpose. Um, they did that to, fool other people. And second, I like the idea that they were painting Clark Kent because of their parents as a simple man with who believed everybody. And on the other hand, they showed Lois Lane as the biggest and greatest reporter of them all because she questions everybody, even Superman.
And
And
yeah,
she was ready to make some questions that Superman would not make himself.
yeah,
So that's how I see it.
yeah. I had mixed thoughts about some of that because, um, Clark had to have been on the scene as a reporter for a while and would know to ask the hard questions, but that doesn't necessarily mean anybody knows how to ask the hard questions of themselves. And Lois
Hmm.
pointed that out. You know your questions beforehand when you interview yourself for the stories. So it was interesting and nice to see that. Um, I thought the casting of Mrs. Maisel as Lois Lane was absolutely perfect. When I heard that, I thought, I'm blanking for a moment on the actress's name, um, but when they said that she was going to play Lois Lane, it was like, yes, yes, this works perfectly because I love the marvelous Mrs. Maisel, so much.
So
I've watched.
so I have a question for you guys. Is there any part of the casting that you guys don't like?
Thinking about it here, I
Hmm.
uh, I was predisposed not to like the casting of Lex Luthor until I saw him play Lex Luthor, and I thought, okay, I think he's doing a wonderful job. Um, uh, I I liked. Now that I think about it, I pretty much liked every character there, or every bit of casting there. Um,
Hmm.
If I had to pick one,
yeah,
it would be Kara. I don't like, and maybe it was more how she was portrayed than the casting, but I
Okay.
didn't really care
yeah.
for Kara.
Okay, I can see that she just everything I've seen of the actress, she seems too dour, um, and I'm not sure that. Well, I'm not sure where that's going to go, but running through the the Justice Gang, and Lois. I thought it was a great casting for Superman. Before they announced David Cornsweet as the character, probably a year before, I remember posting on my Facebook, if they're going to do a new Superman movie, they ought to post. They ought to think about this guy. And I had posted pictures of David Cornsweet because he's 6'5", 6'6", kind of looked the character. I found the shot where a picture of him online where all he needed was the damn spit curl.
Right.
And so I thought that was fun. So I was happy with all that. Less happy with the suit, but I can live with the suit.
I was going to say, what did y'all think of the suit? Because I still hate the suit.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, honestly, I had expected two things that weren't there. The first was I expected him to say some version of, "My mom made this."
I mean, he didn't say it. There is a part of the movie when he's at his parents' house and he had to put on the uniform, and his mother said, "I just cleaned the boots."
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
And so I had thought they were going to do that. That was a touch. If you followed the Superman and Lois TV series that ran 4 seasons, the very first episode when they show Superman going around saving people and doing things, and the kid says, "Love your suit." He says, "Thanks, my mom made it."
My mom made it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I really thought they were going to do that. And by the end of the movie, through the battles and whatever, I thought the suit was going to get torn up. So that by the last scenes, he comes out with a new suit that the robots made. And it becomes the suit that we've been expecting him to have. Still have the trunks, but closer to the Christopher Reeve.
Look, a lot of people, that's my point. A lot of people said, "Oh, but the trunks are ridiculous." Yes, okay, but we saw when Christopher Reeve was Superman that the trunks can be well done. That's not what happened on this movie. And I agree with you. On the first scene that Superman appears, he's all beat up. There is blood coming on his face, and he had cuts and bruises, and there was not one scratch on the suit. So we have to think, okay, was this suit done, as with Kryptonian technology? Was this suit done on Earth? Shouldn't it be, a little bit torn?
Right.
Even at the end of the movie, there's not a scratch on the suit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have to wonder where that suit came from, and if it was made in on Earth, it would be all torn up and destroyed. And at the end, not even his cape, it didn't have not a scratch on it. So that's kind of weird to me.
Yeah, I keep going back to, it was what he was wrapped in, the blankets he was wrapped in the trip from Krypton. But you look at, because we're 3 years into Superman being at this point, they don't have to explain the Kryptonian technology behind the fortress, or how he has the knowledge. For a guy that was raised as a simple farm boy who trusts everybody and isn't the brightest during the battle, as Will pointed out, was still able to build his Superman robots in the fortress, but they are obviously built with steel and other things that Superman found here. That's not Kryptonian materials, because they were so able to destroy that when Luther and company make it to the fortress.
Right.
Yes.
Speaking of which, this is the one scene that really bugged the hell out of me.
I think
When Luther's there, and I'm forgetting the character with the tiny waist that does all the nanotech.
the engineer.
The
Yeah,
engineer. The
and
engineer.
she's throwing these things, and things are sparking and exploding and shattering, and Lex Luthor is going through it, none of it bothering
I
him.
didn't like
I'm,
that scene.
yeah, I'm sorry. How does he know none of that's going to hit him?
Yeah, I don't like
You
that either.
know, that was beyond simple arrogance. That was stupidity, because he could very easily have been killed with the shattering whatevers.
Right. Right.
And
I agree.
so that
You know,
that bugged me. Just
what bugged me was the opening scene. So Superman gets his ass knocked into the Arctic, and he just happens to conveniently be land like 100 feet from his fortress, or
uh,
is it that his fortress can
Well,
pop up
I
where
don't
he
think
needs it?
he was thrown there. For what I gather, he flew there. He flew away from the fight, and he was
because
so weak.
the fight was in Metropolis.
I thought he
Yeah,
was
so
thrown
he
there.
got away. No, no, no. I think he got away from the fight. He flew away because he was too beat up. And when he was arriving there, he was too weak and he fell. That's what I gathered from that. I don't think he was, he suffered a punch and flew away. What I think it was strange is because he was being beat up by a clone, why did the clone, seeing that he was so weak, and why Lex Luthor, seeing that he was so weak, didn't put the clone to fly after him and keep kicking him?
Good
Maybe because
question.
he wanted, yeah, you know,
Well,
and so
we
yeah,
know they.
obviously he said, yeah, he sent the engineer after him because obviously it seems to me that he wanted to locate his fortress or something. So he didn't want the clone to go after him because then they would fight. Then he would never find his HQ. So he sent in the engineer just to follow him. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
I'm trying to justify it.
yeah, and the fortress is in the Antarctic instead of the Arctic for a change.
Yeah.
Well, and Mike says that the fortress is mobile, like it does pop up where he needs it.
I'm not sure
No,
that that
that
would be the
doesn't seem
case,
right.
because even if it's going down, just think of how much it would have to crash through
It would have to go
underground to
through
make that
the
happen.
Yeah, it will have to go through the core.
Yeah, that doesn't
That
uh,
doesn't make sense.
make sense.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if it was mobile or not. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
No, I think it is mobile to a point. I don't think it can leave, the pole and go to the other pole. I don't think it's possible. If
okay,
that was possible, it could show up anywhere, on the
right.
desert or anywhere, even in the middle of Metropolis.
yeah. Uh, Speaking of the middle of Metropolis, I was, even though they made a serious point of evacuating the city, man, that was an awful lot of damage to the buildings. As that rift
The
was
rift.
coming, yeah, and it's like, I think about how startling it was in real life to lose the towers in New York,
Oh my God. Yeah.
and to have 20 or 30 times as much damage, uh, people losing homes, all their belongings, all their everythings, and and with all that going on, instead of worrying about that, Superman's joking with Mr. Terrific about how a building didn't quite line up afterwards. It's like, I mean, there's a whole lot to worry about here. Maybe you should spin around the world a few times and turn back time.
Right? Can,
Uh,
can can you imagine the insurance
Yeah.
premiums in Metropolis?
yeah, someone would start to question at some point, why are these things showing up in Metropolis? They're attracted to Superman. Superman, move out of Metropolis. We didn't have these problems before you came along.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're causing more grief than you're helping. So a lot of concerns there. But what
What
else?
was the best scene for you guys? Best
Crypt,
scene?
any scene with crypto.
No, no, no. Pick one best scene.
One best scene.
Yeah.
Uh, okay. Honestly, the quick shot of um Superman waking up in his childhood bed, and Crypto is just laying on top of him like a real dog would be doing, and that felt like such a real human moment because I know this because I wake up and my dog is on top of me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And honest to God, uh, my dog, my dog's smaller than your dog. Anyway, my dog, which is a little 6-pound multi-poo, seems to know where I'm hurting. If I am hurting, if I'm having a bad back time, maybe it's the way
Uh-huh.
heat radiates off my body or whatever. It always nestles up next to me. If my shoulder's hurting, it finds a way to be against my shoulder, and so on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so here, this dog was there. Superman's hurting all over. It wants to comfort him. He's on top of it. That struck me as a very real moment.
And dogs do have that superpower. Like my dog, he's never been trained, but I'm diabetic, and when my blood sugar goes low,
Mm-hmm.
like during the night when I'm sleeping, he'll wake me up until I wake up and whine and let me know that hey, something's going on with your blood sugar. So dogs are
Cool.
pretty
Yeah.
fantastic that way.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
my favorite scene was actually with his dad, Jonathan. I thought that was just so. I just thought it was
Beautiful.
amazing. Yeah, it was a beautiful scene.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. To me, I mean, and now I'm just talking about visual stuff, okay? I'm not talking about the moment, just the visual. I like the scene on the bridge when that lady, the building almost fell over the car, and he holds the building and she leaves with the car, and she looks back, and we see the smoke coming out and Superman lifting off from the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Visually, for me, that was the best scene.
That was
Superman
yeah, it
got
was
with his cape flowing in, and just his shadow coming out of the smoke. I love that scene.
yeah. And as an artist, yeah, that would be a scene that you would pick out. Um,
Yeah.
what was your so you've drawn Superman before lots of times, right? Well,
Yes,
what do you
I
have a
was lucky
favorite
enough
scene?
to have been able to draw Superman. Yes.
Do you have a favorite scene that you've drawn of for Superman?
Yes, I do. There is a scene where he is picking up. He picks up. There's a robot in front of him, and he shreds uh, the robot in the middle. And I made him a frontal shot, and it's a very horizontal panel, and we just see him very angry because, and we see the pieces of the robot in front of him because he just rips it apart. And I love that scene because it shows his when he's angry, what he's capable of. And there is another scene when he gets into the actually it was the first scene that we see that he is on the fortress of solitude, and he just find out one of his robots destroyed, and it's over a table, and we only see him from behind, and I made him. We don't see his face. We just see him from the back, and he's leaning over the table, and he's suffering a lot of for the loss of the robot. I like that scene a lot.
Very, very
Very
cool.
I
cool.
like I like emotional moments.
Emotional moments. Seeing Crypto fly in and do the Hulk Loki scene. Crash, 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 crash.
Yeah, yeah,
We-
like
we-
Mike
we-
said, yeah, doing to
yeah,
Luther what Hulk did to Loki.
yeah.
Good job.
You know, yes, yeah. I immediately came to, oh, that's the Hulk doing
Yeah,
it. You know,
yeah.
to
As it
Loki.
was
Yes,
happening, I turned to my wife, went, "Puny God,"
Yeah,
yeah.
I
But there
just
is
I
one. Yeah, yeah. I love that scene. There is another thing that I'm picky about. If you noticed, and some of you said in the beginning that Crypto, he stole the show for me. And if you think about it, Crypto on the movie is much more powerful than Superman.
right, yeah,
He saves Superman ass all the time.
yes, he does. It's fantastic, and I just love the robots. You know, like the canine is unruly.
Yes,
We feed
he
him,
keeps.
but we could care
Yes,
less.
think about it. Think about it. He saves Superman in the beginning of the movie. Uh, in the end, he's the one who kicks Lex Luthor's ass. Uh, uh, he fights Lex Luthor and his gang when they are invading the fortress. He saves Superman when his Superman falls on that river of
Mhm.
Proton River. I don't know. So Crypto is the one who is doing all the hard work.
Yeah, and it was a necessary scene, I think, to have Crypto be the one that kicks Luther's ass because
Yeah, I know, I know.
because we know Superman's there and Superman could do this and kill Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I know. But for example, there's another scene when Superman was fighting his clone, and he doesn't destroy the little robots. Crypto does.
Mm,
Crypto does everything.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I
We
could
should just change the
easily
name of the movie, not Superman, but the Super Dog or something.
yeah,
I could easily sit through a crypto movie.
yeah, yeah. I think you're going to
Me
because
too.
I expect Crypto to
At
be
least,
all through the Supergirl movie.
Right.
at
Yeah.
least, yeah.
And I don't know if Mike is saying that the actual dog's name is Snoopy or
Now, Mike is a massive Snoopy fan. So a white dog that he's going to think of him as Snoopy.
no, he says Super
Yeah,
Beagle.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, and I heard a lot of complaints about the Crypto's appearance. They say, "Oh, Crypto doesn't have long, fur." I said, "Are you guys kidding me? Are you complaining about the dog? Oh, come on, guys, give me a break. He looks adorable, and you are
Yeah.
complaining because he doesn't look exactly like the dog in the comics? Oh, come on, guys, you are not serious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Give me a
it's
break."
like for this movie, people were prepared to hate it the day it was announced.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
It's
I
going to
agree.
be horrible. It's going to be a failure. It's going to be this. So every time I'd see that kind of crap online, it's like, oh, the, what in the script that you read is a problem? Well, I didn't read the script. And how the hell you know what the movie's going to be like? Or
Yeah,
this actor is terrible. Did you
yeah,
see any of the movie? Well, no, but he's not. He's not Henry Cavill. It's like, people were prepared to nitpick and hate everything
Right.
before this
yeah.
movie ever came out.
And
And
I
There's a couple of things. There's a couple of things. The first thing, me and Dave, we were talking about this before the movie. Uh, the first thing is there were a few things that came out prior to the movie that were leaked, like the first shots from the outfit.
Yeah.
I knew there are a lot of those stuff they would be fixed, you know, on
Mhm.
the after the production. And I think they let them leak on purpose just to create, the
Some
talking
buzz.
and
Yeah.
yes, I think they were done in purpose. And a lot of those things that people were complaining about were fixed on the real movie. And the
Yeah.
second thing was, I was not convinced about visually only. Okay,
Yeah.
visually, I was not convinced about the actor. Okay, I am, to me, the greatest Superman was, and so far it still is, Christopher Reeve. So every time I see somebody dressed up as Superman, that's my reference. So I was not convinced, and as I said, visually, I think Henry Cavill was a great Superman. He didn't have the chance to act as Superman because, the direction and the script didn't allow him to. So I never knew if he would be or not a great Superman as an actor. Seems to me, for the last scene that we were talking about on the Black Adam movie, I
Yeah.
think he would have the great chance to finally play Superman as he should be, and I think he would have done a great job on it. But when I came to watch this new movie, I was, kind of behind the fence about Chris Carson, right? His name, I always
Corn sweat.
David Cornswell.
David Corn
yes,
sweat.
yes. So when I saw him, the first times I saw him as Superman, I was not convinced.
Yeah.
But I said to Dave, I'm going with, an open mind. I don't want to, because I remember when they casted Heath Ledger as the new Joker, and everybody, oh, pretty boy, he's not going to be a good Joker. And to me, he was the best Joker ever so far.
Hmm.
So I said, okay, I rather wait and see how he does, and then I'm gonna talk about it. And I think he did a decent Superman. I like
Yeah,
him as Superman. You know,
absolutely. There's a portion. There's a portion of fandom, and we call them fanboys. That they're gonna hate every single thing that comes out because it's not the exact movie that they had in their head and the exact casting that they had in their head. So they're just going to hate
I
it and they're
agree.
going to destroy it online. That's just the way it is. Um, so
It comes back
Yeah,
to
I agree.
people look for anything to complain about, anything to ruin something,
right,
and it's
and
like,
so there's rumors, and I just read something today. I don't know if it's official. That Henry Cavill is actually going to be part of the Gunverse,
Yeah, I
and
heard that too.
coming back as Batman, possibly.
Really, I don't think so. I heard that the guy who is going to play Batman is the guy who is doing the Reacher now. That
Alan
big guy. I
Richardson.
don't.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
between
that's what
those
I
two. I've
heard.
heard rumors, but I just read today that Henry Cavill was, signed
Maybe,
on or
yeah,
something.
maybe.
But it could be hearsay. But that'd be an interesting casting.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and it would be a good way to, to make to make the Henry Cavill Superman fans a little happier, I
Right.
guess.
Yep. Coming back as Batman. Yeah, that'd be yeah.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, oh, finally we have Henry Cavill back. So
Right. And Henry Cavill as Bruce Wayne could be, talking to Superman, and be like, "Man, I had this crazy dream that I was you."
yeah, yeah.
oh wow, yeah. Uh, so, did we miss any of the Easter eggs that you were talking about?
Mike
Where
says,
there?
"I thought Bruce Wayne was playing Batman."
Yeah, yeah. All right.
I don't know. Did you guys see anything else that any other Easter eggs that you can think of? Because I'm sure there was stuff in there that I missed that I'm going to catch on,
Yeah.
viewing it
To be
again.
honest,
So
yeah. To be honest, I have to watch the movie a second time. The first time that I watched it, I was, trying to, take in the movie and see if I really liked it or not. And the second time is the one that I'm going to go, okay, let's now look for hidden stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
agreed. So yeah, we're gonna have to have another the stupid X-ray glasses thing. Mike says. Yeah, they talked about
Yeah,
the
this is
hypno
one.
glasses.
Yes, that's one of the things that I liked. I said, yeah, he told you about the hypnotic glass. It's like I like that part.
Well, there's also another theory that Superman vibrates his face when he's Clark Kent, so you can never get a clear view of him, and that's why the glasses work, and that's why it
Mm.
works as Clark Kent because he's always vibrating his face.
Yeah, that
I,
may
I,
be
I,
something.
I've always disliked any of those. I remember when Marty Pasco wrote the Superman story about the glasses actually hypnotized people and so
Come on,
you saw.
haven't.
And I not only did I hate it, but I remember at the time fandom collectively said, no, no, that didn't happen, and they just okay, that was one of the imaginary stories.
Remember when they used to give those weird superpowers to Superman?
Yeah.
He had so
Yeah,
many stupid superpowers, man. I can say what? It's
I
like
like.
when they oh yeah, this is one of the covers that I did for Action Comics. So I,
Uh,
I I remember when they had is the bot signal, the bot card. We have the bot pancake or that's so
yeah,
insane, man.
yeah.
It's so cool.
Superman had.
I remember again as a big Christopher Reeve scene. There is that first scene when on Superman 1, Superman the movie, when he was talking to Lois Lane and they were on the rooftop and he comes in as Clark Kent and she goes out to pick up I think a jacket or something and he's messing with his glasses and
Yeah.
he takes his glasses off and in his mind he's thinking that he's going to reveal to Lois Lane that he is Superman, and just
Hmm.
changes his posture. He doesn't do much.
That was
Just
brilliant.
changes his posture, and his face changed, and we saw Superman there,
Mm-hmm.
and he
Yep.
starts saying, "Lois Lane, I have something to say to you," and then she comes back and he puts back his glasses and he
Shrinks
resumes
three
that.
inches, and yeah,
To
that
me, that explains the glasses perfectly.
yeah,
And
and that there's one of the comics. I forget what issue or whatever, and um, Clark ends up explaining to somebody, and I apologize for not getting this right, but was explaining to somebody uh, what happens when people see you, especially if they see you without your glasses. They say, you look a bit like Superman, and you
Yeah.
never assume that this. Uh, why would you even assume that Superman has a secret identity? Why would he
Yes.
need it?
right.
And if so, why would it be that goofy guy?
Yeah. So I don't think that that's the hiding in plain sight thing does work. There's a uh, I'm terrible with names sometimes. I'm blanking on the name of the actress, Zoe Deschanel, or
I was just looking her up because I
yeah,
thought the exact same thing. Yep.
yeah. There's a meme out there that shows her the way she looks on the TV shows with the glasses and whatever, and then when she shows up at some event with different hair, no bangs, no glasses, like crap, that's the same person. Uh, and I remember back many years ago when I worked at the LG Balfour Company. There was somebody who worked in one of the departments. It was a girl that was there with black hair and glasses, and she showed up one day. She had gone platinum blonde, and she was going around. She had her contacts in. It took me 2 days to realize that was her, and it's like, okay, this is somebody that I pass every day, so I can get, yeah, that's the one. Show that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not hard to believe the glasses thing, and you don't need the hypnosis thing that doesn't work. Hypnosis isn't going to work
Especially,
through photographs. It's not going to
especially,
work on
yeah,
TV.
I agree, and especially if you think about Superman. I mean, in the story, especially in the earlier stories, you don't have the technology that we have nowadays, uh, in terms of video and photograph and stuff. And Superman is always moving in super speed.
Yeah,
So there was never a clear shot of Superman like standing and saying, "Hello, I'm Superman." I mean, at least
Right.
in my point of view, when would they ever, take
yeah,
a picture of him standing up and looking to the to the camera? So
yeah,
it's hard to believe that they would have a clear shot from Superman. So and as Dave said, in the collective mind of people, why would Superman even have a secret identity?
Right. Very true.
They
yeah.
are not looking for it. Yeah,
Very,
this I
yeah,
think
very
yeah,
true.
this was
Very
one of
true.
the last pages that I did, I think, for
And
Action
it's
Comics.
interesting because if you look into how people perceive each other, um, we don't see, like, I'm looking at you, Dave, right? And
Yeah,
my vision of you isn't necessarily exactly what you look like. It's my brain's perceived image of what you look like.
oh sure.
So there's another.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And once people lock into a perception of somebody, it it kind of sticks around. It's like a friend from my childhood, Scott Rockwell. It's like knew each other for so many decades, and my mental picture of him is very different from what he was before he passed. But you get a mental picture of somebody, and that sticks with you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
and also there is another thing that we have to take in consideration, talking specifically about the comics, and yeah, we can talk about the movies too. There is always that phrase, "Oh, but Clark Kent and Superman, they are never in the same room." Yeah, that's true. But who else? Nobody is usually in the same room as Superman.
Yeah, very true. That's always
How many people? Yeah, how many people you see in the same room as Superman?
Exactly.
yeah.
What?
There,
That doesn't make sense to me.
yeah, flashing way back to Superman Returns, since we were talking about that earlier. Um, there's a scene where uh, uh, they're all in the Daily Planet looking up at the TV monitors, and Clark Kent is there looking up, and Lois is there with her and Superman's son, and it's very obvious that the kid looks over at Clark and then looks up at pictures of Superman on the screen or whatever and makes the connection immediately, but he
Mhm.
doesn't say a word. I really thought they missed a bet there when that the kid should have turned to his mom and said, ah, he's Superman. And Lois would have bent down next to him. And said, yes, we all know he, but he he's got to have some peace and quiet away from it sometime. And he wants to know what's going on, so he works here as a reporter. Nobody says a word. Leave him alone. Some variation of that.
That would be
She
good.
knew.
Yeah, I like
She
that.
knew.
I like that.
So that's.
We know. We know. Shh. We know. But he doesn't know that we know that we know that he knows that we
Except his hearing just picked that up. So yeah. So anyway, but in any case, so
But all
oh,
in all, what you guys think about the movie? I mean, what would be the note that you guys would give to the movie?
I would give it an 8 out of 10 because
Okay.
I so many things I liked about it that it was bright. It was a Superman movie in the world of the Justice League. Oop,
Okay.
well, not called the Justice League yet, but
Justice Gang, man.
yeah,
Justice
Justice
Gang.
Gang. Oh, I can't. I don't want to piss off Nathan Fillion. But in that world, it was a bright movie. It was fun. Crypto was a joy. Um, Lois, I think, was practically perfect. They should have given her even more back and forth smarty pants dialogue because the actress is so good at that. I liked so many things about it. The things that I didn't like were minor practical things, all of which you've pointed out. So a good 8 out of 10 there for me.
I got to give it a 9 out
How
of
about
10. I thought it was damn near perfect.
wow, that's a high note. That's good. Yeah, I would give it a 7 because I'm picky, but it's a great movie. I mean, it was fun, it was light. I liked the actor as Superman. I liked the casting, and all of this, the secondary casting were great. So yeah, because I'm picky, I would give it a very good 7. Yeah.
The only reason I didn't give it a 10 out of 10 is because of that damn suit. Yeah, I'm sorry, but David Cornsweet worked his ass off to get his Superman body, and then they put him in a suit like that covers it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't like that trunk, man. It's kind of weird to me. But yeah.
Yeah. And Mike gives it 9 out of 10 for Crypto.
There we go.
Yeah, yes. Crypto for me was the star of the show.
But
There
all
was
in all, a good time, and I'm really looking forward to see what James Gunn does in the future.
Yeah, me too.
Yep. So let's see. There was one other thing I wanted to. I'm looking for an image to put up if I can find it. If not, this one here. Let's see if is it showing up?
No,
I
I
guess
only
it did
see your
not.
ugly face.
Yeah, I see my ugly face. So I guess we can do without.
Did it not load?
Yeah, it looks like it's not loading, but that's okay. Anyway, yeah, there's a meme out there, a picture out there with a really surprised cartoon drawing of Lois, and it's a shot of Lois in Superman's arms, and she's about to post it on social media, and it does the little square around Superman's head. Do you want to tag Clark Kent?
I've seen that. Yeah, I love that. It's
and
fantastic.
and
So.
it's like for me, one of the I think great things about the movie was that Lois knew that he was Superman. Okay, they don't get it into how she knew or when she discovered it or that first conversation or connection or however it worked. But I've always had trouble that a Pulitzer Prize winning reporter
Yeah.
couldn't figure it out.
Right.
And
Well, David.
I also liked, just to finish up, I also like the fact that they just had their first date. I think that was brilliant.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Well, David, pull out your, because I know you have it hidden away somewhere. You have a treatment for a Superman movie that you've written.
Oh, I'm sure it's hidden deep away. I will tell you this. Decades ago, when we got to write some Superman stuff for Julia Schwartz, there were so many stories we didn't get to do, and some of those found their way into the Victor character in the Hero Alliance series that Kevin and I did at Innovation and elsewhere. So some of those stories are there. Things things along the lines of it had always bugged me that Superman could do things like pick up the Statue of Liberty from a corner and fly it somewhere, and the weight of the thing didn't break off. So I had always figured that Superman's strength didn't come from his muscles, but from some sort of, I don't know, Kryptonian field around him that's naturally generated in Earth's yellow sun that allowed him to do that. And for that reason, his costume, no matter what costume it was, might survive. I had a different way of describing it in the Hero Alliance series, that it was all wish fulfillment, that he was like generating the hopes and dreams of people, and he was able to do it because he thought he could. And
Okay.
so there were elements of that are always in Superman, where there are all these impossible things that he can do that don't make sense because of gravity and physics and all this that he can do. Yes, it's Superman. It's a fun movie, but sometimes it's interesting to
Right.
think about how that might have been done.
Right.
Hmm.
And a lot of people forget, the most important phrase in our business is suspension of disbelief.
Mm-hmm.
People forget that.
So, well, I believe that we've covered this pretty completely,
I think
and
so.
we've run a bit long here, but it has been an enjoyable time. So we will do portfolio reviews next time, and so Will, thank you so much for being here, literally being here in the
You
next
kicked me
room.
out of the chair.
Yeah. But it is always an enormous pleasure to have you here on the show or otherwise.
Thank
And
you guys for having me on the show. Thank you, Dave, for your hospitality here in your beautiful house with your beautiful family. You know, it's always a pleasure for me.
all right. So, Chris, I guess for next week, if people want to send portfolios in our general direction, they can send them to me here for review at david@glasshousegraphics.com. And
Yes.
you have an email address as well.
I have an email address as well. You can send it to ghthrowingstones@glasshouse.com. And if you, just a note, if you do send your portfolio, if you can, please send it already in a PDF. Don't send like individual files, random files, or don't link us to your DeviantArt, please. Um,
I won't review
because,
those. Yeah.
yeah.
Send me exactly the images you want to see. Put them in a PDF with your name and the file name. Make sure your name and your full contact information are on the first page. That shouldn't be hard. If you
Yes.
can't do that basic thing, then you're not going to get any jobs. So wanted to mention that next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I believe, Will is at a convention in Tampa.
Yes, I'll be there. We'll see you guys all there. All the information is easily found on all my social media, and also on the guys convention people social media. So just look for Tampa Comic Convention on those dates, and I'll see you guys there.
All right.
Right.
Fantastic.
And
All right.
thank you all for joining us in this talk fest about all things Superman.
Yes. And
Thanks, guys,
please,
for the invite.
yeah, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe. That really helps us out. And we will see you all next Saturday on Glasshouse Presents Throwing Stones. All right. Bye.